Good afternoon, and welcome to the regular Main Street Historic Zoning Commission meeting for February the 19th, 2019. We do have a quorum, Brenda, so we'll go ahead and approve the minutes of two meetings. Actually, we'll start with the first one on June the 19th, 2018, that needs to be approved. And I'm looking for any additions or corrections.
I move we approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we got approval in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any not in favor? The motion carries. Next is the January 1st meeting of 2019, and I'm looking for additions or corrections. And Brenda, I do have one correction on page 3 of those minutes. 6 up from the bottom, where it starts off with Vice Chair Becker. It's me, I guess. You find it? Okay. It says I verified the white vinyl structure approved by the commission. I don't believe I verified it. I think I queried whether it was approved by the commission. And then, of course, Ms. White came back and said she wasn't sure that it was approved, but I was not verifying it because I had no clue whether it was approved or not by the commission. So if you could change verified to queried the white vinyl.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 3.
He said January.
I think you said
See-
January 1st.
Did you say
December
3?
18.
Oh,
It,
I mean the January
no,
15th.
December,
December.
December
Okay.
18th.
Okay, it has January there, but it's really the 8th. Hold on. Okay, yeah, December the 18th meeting. It was just incorrect on my front page. I'm sorry. It's page 3 of that December 18th, 2018 meeting. And it's 6 up from the bottom. It starts off Vice Chair Becker.
I haven't noted.
Well, it says here that Vice Chair Becker verified the white vinyl structure was approved by the commission. And I was just,
And you just,
pardon me?
And then Ms. White answered, she said she does not know it.
Yeah, but I did not verify it.
You were questioning it.
Okay?
But I just use that word instead.
If that word fits, then we can leave it alone. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we have new business. Ms. Diana?
pay those?
Wait, we're going to need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Give me a break, it's raining out.
It's a rainy day.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any not in favor? Okay, so approved. Now let's go on to the first piece of business.
All right. We have an application from the homeowner at 320 East College Street to install solar panels on the roof in the rear of the structure. This property is located at 320 East College Street. The house was constructed around 1855 in the arts and crafts style. It is a contributing structure to the East Main Street Historic District. This was approved, this property is undergoing a lot of renovation. They were in about a year ago. At the November meeting, they came in and had several things approved, from adding a screened porch, window boxes, and those type things. So this is just their second round of coming back in. Now, I'm bringing it before you because our guidelines do state that changes to the exterior of the building, this would be a change to the exterior, even though it's in the back. Changes of roof height, it would change the roof height, it would bring it up. So I feel like this is something you all need to discuss and make this decision. The applicant is here, if you'd like him to come up and maybe go through his site plan and tell you what he plans to do, and then you can ask him questions.
Would you come to the podium, please? And then state your name and address.
Yeah, hi, I'm Steve Pileski. I'm the homeowner. I currently live on 2nd Avenue, and I'll be hopefully moving to 320 East College pretty soon. And this is Silas from Lightwave Solar, who's the contractor running this job.
Yeah, so I've got a couple photos if anybody wants to see them. It shows
Sure.
how much
Yes. That'd be great.
Yeah, sure, bring them up.
I have a question, just an initial question about the paragraph in the proposal. Says it was constructed circa 1855, is that correct?
No, that's not correct. Our best guess is it was constructed in 1913.
Okay,
We know that it
Okay.
was not on the 1910 Sandburg map.
Okay.
It was on the 1918.
right. Because arts and crafts didn't exist in 1855, so.
That's right.
Okay.
Good, thank you. 1930.
I also
What,
believe you're
what date did you say? Because,
The arts and crafts movement was around the turn of the century. So 1855 is, you can't have 1855 arts and crafts, it's not possible.
okay, because we're going to need to correct that in our listing, because that's where I get that information.
Yeah, probably comes from the listing of contributing structures.
Yes.
For the historic district.
Yes, that's where I picked this up, so,
Right, okay.
okay. We'll need to go back and
Whi-
correct
Which
that.
sort of brings up a whole nother question. At some point, we should revisit those contributing structures.
That's just an example.
Okay, Steve, is there anything you want to add to what we're seeing so far before we open up to the board? Anything you want to add, clarify?
I mean, I think just context is that, my wife and I, really, we thought about this as we're trying to design our dream home. A lot of the updates that we talked about last time were really around what, the things we needed to do to the house to take it from its current state to a really livable house for the foreseeable future. Part of like making our dream home was really making something that was energy efficient and sustainably produced, and so the opportunity to add solar as well as geothermal and some other things that we're doing were really exciting for us. So that's the context for why we wanted to do this. We thought we could do it in a way that really didn't detract from the historical character of the house, and will really just add to the neighborhood.
Yeah, that first photo is not his home. That's just to show you how high the roof profile will change. The other photos are his home, so you can just see the photos from the back is where the panels will be. You can't even see his roof from the backyard, so it'll be fairly minimal on the,
So that height is what, about 8 inches,
I'd say closer to 6.
6 inches?
What is the, when you do solar heating and cooling, what is the investment? I mean, how long do you feel your investment will take to be recouped when you do something like this?
So his system is actually producing electricity rather than creating hot water or something like that. So that's usually our average customer's 9 to 11 year payback.
9 to 11, okay.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, I have one comment. You're correct that it's not visible from College Street, but it is visible from Main Street. When you look through Junior's parking lot, you can't really see the top roof part, but you can see the vertical back, which, if I understand correctly, there are some panels on that vertical.
Yeah, there's some panels on the back roof. The last packet in there is a copy of the plans that shows
Yeah.
where they'll be located on the roof.
That being said, when you look that way, I'm not necessarily saying that the panels would be a distraction to your home. That's certainly after, looking at Junior's trailer and all the other trash that they keep there, which is unfortunate. But I did want to let the board know that it is visible on the vertical part, at least.
I've actually thought about that, David, and one point that came to mind when I was considering that is Junior's is actually not in the historic district portion. They'd be in the central business district. So
No, they are, because they're within the confines.
Are they?
They're within the boundary, because we reviewed, did we not, the Episcopal Church, or was
Yeah,
that
sure.
just?
Okay.
Yeah, it starts at Academy, so even though they are a business, they're still part of the historic
Okay.
boundaries.
Okay. Well, my apologies on that. But again, I come back to the same point as you, the stacks of cardboard, the back end of a trailer, the fact that you would have to look past all of these items before you would see potentially the panels on the back of this roof. So what are we disrupting and what are we trying to protect, I guess is the questions I'm left with.
Any other comments or questions?
I do have one question. You said there are panels on the vertical portion, or you mean on the roof?
Well,
Or
there-
on the wall?
No, just the roof.
On the roof, okay, okay.
So, okay, well, maybe I'm incorrect. So when I'm looking at this plan, oh, I see, they are on
Electric
the...
box.
They are on the top part. They are not on the vertical.
They're on the roof, so it's a, downward sloping, backward roof.
Yeah.
So,
But you have a-
yeah, it's hard,
the back of the
to your point, David, it's hard for me to know, you can't see the roof very well just because of the pitch and then because Main Street is a bit lower. I think it is possible that if you're at the right angle, certainly if you were in a higher car, that you could see them, but they would be difficult to see and they'll generally blend in with.
When I looked at the drawings, I was misinformed, misled. It seemed to me they were on the vertical portion of the back of your house by the windows, but they're not. So they're on that peak.
That's right, yeah, they're on the sloped roof
They're on the
section.
peak.
David, which of the 41 windows are you speaking about?
The ones that are on the very edge of the peak, there's only
He thought they were there.
3 of them.
They're there.
Is that an additional breaker box or disconnect, junction box, something like that that we're seeing on the side?
There'd be a disconnect safety switch that's about this big that's required by code.
Okay.
Can you bring the picture up of the roof
Um,
with the panels on it?
Let's see,
Yes.
That-
I don't know
oops.
If you can blow that
Back
up.
one?
But
That
you
one?
see those, now go back to the previous one you had. Okay,
That one?
You see the 3 panels on the very tip? I thought maybe they were on the vertical, but they're not. They're on actually the top, so I doubt whether you could see them from walking or your car or anything, so sorry for that confusion, at least on my part. Any other comments? Have a motion?
I move that we approve the solar panels for the roof.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any not in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
You want?
Hey, Diana, is there any other reports or? from the staff?
I did have 2 other things I wanted to bring up. First, I have been in contact with the state about training for the board and some different things, so I'm working with her. Hopefully next month I'll have something to bring to you about some ideas for you to choose from. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, as I'm researching this and learning more about what we do as a Historic Zoning Commission, I've looked at a lot of other guidelines. We have not updated our guidelines since they were adopted. A lot of people have gone to guidelines that contain...
That can't be correct.
Well, but the difference is we can't, okay, it looks like we're still all text. A lot of people are using a lot of visuals, and that's helping understand things like when an addition is set apart and how it goes. I'd like to, I didn't bring them this time because I've got several other projects going on, but I'd like to print out some samples to you guys to show you how people have updated this, where they take the text, but they also have some visuals that explain what something is and when something's visible and when it's not and that type thing, and let you all look at that and see if you want to go into some type of update of our guidelines that we haven't visited in a while.
Well, I think
and-
the visuals would be a good move,
I do too.
but I can't remember the exact date we last updated, and it wasn't too long ago.
Okay,
Years
okay.
ago, wasn't
But, sure.
Okay, I didn't find documentation in the files I was looking at, but I'm not looking at Brenda's official files. I'm looking at my predecessor's files that I had access to.
Well, Brenda's the official one.
Brenda is quite official, and I'm sure she has it documented as it needs to be, because she's really good at that. But, so I'll go back and get
Okay.
from her the last time, and then I'll bring you guys some examples of what I'm looking at. Because the things I looked at, I was like, oh, we need to do this. It's so much just for the average layperson coming in that doesn't know exactly what we do. It really does explain it so much better. So I think it would be an asset to us. And since you just pointed out that that
right.
contributing house was dated incorrectly, maybe that's something we need to go back as well, because I go to that list that exists in that file and look up the address and get this information. So if it's not correct, maybe we need to go back and look at it and find out which ones are correct and what needs to be changed.
And Diana, I think also for anybody who's watching, I mean, there is a great website. It's nps.gov/CLG. It's, I think that's the email or the website I just sent you.
Okay.
And CLG stands for Certified Local Government, which is what we are. And that is a provision that is permitted under the National Historic Preservation Act, which was passed in 1966. And so all of this historic preservation National Register information flows from that law. And I think anybody can look at it, and it has great visuals on the website. So that would be a very helpful thing for anybody watching, you know, to learn about historic districts as well. So
Gib, could you go over that
What is it?
website
it's
one?
NPS, November Papa Sierra, .gov for government, /CLG, Charlie Lima Golf. It's a National Park Service website with the cultural resource, on the cultural resource branch of the Park Service. The National Park Service administers the National Register programs. And so all the certified local government is also run through the National Register programs.
And we did just go through, you have to recertify every year to be a certified local government, and I had no idea what I was doing,
Right.
so the state lady walked me through it, and we did just finish that process like 6 weeks ago, I guess, or nine weeks maybe, but, so we are done for the year, but we hopefully will be really up to speed by the time it comes around next year, and we have to do it again, so.
Each state has a state historic preservation officer. Tennessee, that position is housed in the Tennessee Historical Commission, but other states it varies. And that program is also a part of the National Register programs. And so we respond, as a certified local government, we respond to the state historic preservation officer, who is under the tutelage of the National Register programs. So.
Okay, thanks. Anything else? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to dismiss.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion's approved. Thank you very much.